Nation family, greetings. Another episode of Higher Frequency, The Reasoning. And today I'm with the lovely, my friend, Donisha. I say Donisha, I know your name is Prendergast. It's such a tongue twister. Your last name is such a tongue twister.
Oh, no, my married last name is such a tongue twister. It's Donisha Olafemihan.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So Donisha Prendergast Olafemihan. It's long. You can just call me Donisha, though.
I know I say Donisha.
Just
yes, I love you.
Donisha.
Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for making your way over here. It's been a long time coming for you to step up in this platform of mine. But
The higher
doing a lot of stuff with me, so we'll talk about it. Cheers to you, my love.
Ooh.
Ginger shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Clean out all dirty heart. Born Babylon, all negative thought. Shh. Woo! I feel good. Yeah.
You see my eyes are watery. This time I was like, let me not talk right away.
Just take it in. Yeah, you can't sick when you start your day like this.
Family, and we washed it down with some divine nectar. Divine nectar. Did you get to try her at try everything about her juices at the Voices of Sankofa?
So delicious.
Very delicious.
And nutritious. Divine nectar.
Mm-hmm. She made the ginger as well.
Mm-hmm.
I told her to make it really strong. She thinks it's crazy that she's making it that strong too. She's only making it strong for me like this, but we gotta get that kick.
Yeah, man, it's nice. It's like orange, carrot.
Yes.
Yeah, fresh.
Those are the first two ingredients I always call out in the mix of all of it. So I love you. I always start off like that because I'm what I'm doing now is focusing on people that I know. And I've known you for such a long time.
Right.
My beautiful friend. I've known you longer than we've known each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know
who you were before we became friends, even though it's about a decade now.
Yeah.
You're not counting, I'm counting.
Wow.
Because I remember Nitsu was just born.
That's wild.
So it's almost, 8 years, something like that.
Time is moving.
Big time. But I knew you before that because we graduated from the same school, or we went to the same school. You're just like...
I still can't believe that. I still can't believe we walked past each other in the hallways, and then like years later, found ourselves on the same journey.
But I remember you there, and you didn't remember me because I remember bringing it up to you, and you had no idea because I had the permed hair. And I think I was a little thicker. I was definitely had Hennessy in my hand.
I thought in a different vibe. Like we probably wouldn't have been friends.
No.
Yeah. And that's what happened.
And I remember you though, because I remember you always just being so nice, just so you every time I came to you and said hello, or every time you saw me and I would just wave, you were just always, whatever you were doing, you would just speak and just so nice. And I just remember that part of you. So when we became friends before, even though you didn't remember that time, it was just like, of course, it's okay that you don't remember. Because just this is the way you are, who you are, you're showing yourself as that. Even back then, and we're young, we're in college, and we went to film school.
Yeah, all of that.
International University, film school, graduated in film, and I think I graduated a year before you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay if you didn't see me.
It's okay, sis. I see you now. Yeah, and we're here now, and we've been on so many missions around the world together. Like,
say it,
and that's really, it's really wild.
Let's start with the first mission.
Hi, which one is that now?
The first mission was when we really became cool. The first mission was when you went to Haiti on your own. I later found out because I thought you were going with an organization. Usually people do that, but not Donisha.
Just some really crazy things sometimes,
Listen, you went on your own.
Yeah.
Broadcasted it on IG. Mainly it was IG at the time. And I was watching your stories, breastfeeding Nitsu. Take a sip.
Oh, so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Haiti had just hit. Hurricane had just hit Haiti. And you went, and that was your first time there. And I remember you talking about it how it was your first time there and you just wanted to go and help the Haitian people go through this whole disastrous thing, and whatever you were there to do, like whatever you can do, you lend that helping hand to do it. And so I'm seeing all your videos and I'm like, let me reach out to you and say, hey, you know, I have some Rasta family in Haiti. Let me help you with this. Let me send them.
Girl, she forgot that as soon as I landed in Haiti, first of all, okay, so I didn't know. I was in Miami, and I woke up the morning and I said to my mom, I have to go to Haiti. She was like, what? And I was like, I have to go. Like, I have to go. I don't know, but I have to go. I have to see, I have to understand more about what we can do, because there must be more. You know, just like when I went to the continent, there was more, you know, than what they were telling us. And I tried to connect with some ones here in Miami, some Haitian American ones here. We were able to connect with Tico. Right.
I love her.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. And sent some stuff down, but I flew down there by myself. I didn't know anybody, with just some coloring books and some crayons. Because, you know, for me, I realized that during disaster relief, the children are very often overlooked. And it's just like, once you can help the youths them, you know, be calm, then the parents can do whatever they need to do to settle things down. And so if that is the contribution I could give at this time, let this be the contribution I could give. And I thought it was important to broadcast it because, again, you know, we have to be each one teach one.
Yeah.
And use the tools that we have. Yeah. You know, so this was really me trying to give people access to see themselves doing this kind of work through me, living vicariously, you know. I remember landing and you reaching out to me on social, and thank God, because I didn't know where I was going to get my first spliff. I didn't know where I was going to get my ITAL food. I didn't know anything. And Fab was just like, okay, this is who you need to know. And she came through.
She came through. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember she came through, took a picture, and I was like, oh, yes, it happened. Because, I mean, coming through is a big deal in IET, because you have to go through some stuff to get through it. I know when you finally went into the city, it's just so many people. There's so much chaos happening. There's so much. But in the midst of it all, I'm sure you saw the beauty.
I felt like I was home. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was in a strange place. I didn't feel like I was treated like a foreigner. And I was happy that I was able to access. I'm happy that I was able to access the land in that way, because very often when we travel, we are given a tourist experience. We don't always get a chance to walk barefooted in the streets and feel the tone and the heartbeat, the pulse of the people. You know, so being able to do that was really something beautiful and empowering. And Haiti has done a lot for us. Our confidence as, you know, people who were stolen away from the continent and found ourselves here trying to understand what emancipation, liberation looks like. Haiti took that first step. And so we owe a lot to Haiti. I mean, my ancestors could have ended up in Haiti. They just ended up in Jamaica. Like, you know, let's not be confused.
Right. We're all still connected.
We came up of the same boats. Like, you know, this nationalism thing is just it's weird. It's weird. These borders are really weird. Yeah.
But you know what? Even more connected we are goes back to ancient times, or goes back to that revolutionary times when Dati Boukman came from Jamaica.
Yeah.
We were the same, really Africa, and then they brought them to Jamaica and then spread us out in so many different places, and then ended up taking him to Haiti, where the ceremony kicked off. And spirituality brought a whole nother way of fighting racism and fighting slavery in that time. And that was a big deal. That was a big deal.
I think Haiti was criminalized. I mean, Haiti was criminalized because of the capacity to empower spirituality. You know, Jamaica just manifests in a different kind of way, and it just became cool. So like, it's more digestible. as I heard somebody recently say. But the reality is, like, it is the spirit that is going to conquer Babylon, because it's a physical, mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, sexual warfare. It's all of it, you know? So, yeah.
Happy that you realize that, like the fact that you can overstand, and that's what I admire about you so much. The fact that you know so much about the different cultures and how we're all interconnected to the point that this is what we are, this is what we need to know, this is what we need to connect to in order to face the reality. And you have shown this reality. The power of revolution in you is just magical, sis. The way you flow, the way you connect to what revolution means right now in 2024, about to be 2025. 2024, I mean, you carry that same essence of a revolutionary flow from then. From then, what that is now is very powerful, because not a lot of people are speaking this. There was a lot more leaders, I feel, back then, because there was a lot to fight for. There's a lot of distractions now.
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions now. And in like this emotional and mental, this psychological warfare is huge, especially after COVID and what COVID did to people, you know? It's a lot. And here's something that I have to advocate now that I'm a mother. Bro, put some respect on mothers' names. I don't care what happened. Put some respect on that shit.
Yeah.
Because to be a mother, to carry life, to give birth, not just to another human, but to yourself as another being. Because like your cells change out, your hormones become like something totally different. Like you become something new.
Yeah.
After being who you are for so long, you now become something new. Nobody ever prepared you for that. Nobody ever talk about that shit. They're like, it's gonna be great. They're gonna be so cute.
Beautiful.
It's the most beautiful thing for you. Nobody talk about the fact that my body was going to go through so much to heal. Like my emotions, my mental, postpartum depression.
It's real.
These things are real and a natural part of like becoming a mother, becoming a parent. But the world doesn't create space for that. The world doesn't respect that. You know, the world doesn't acknowledge it. We don't acknowledge it. You know, like I had to kind of almost like put this whole superwoman thing to sleep. Like, bro, I just want to sleep. You know, like you don't have to do everything. Like I had to reorient how I engaged with the world and how I thought I had to engage with the world and how I thought I could versus what I actually could do.
And you have something to live for now. So it's a different kind of movement, you know? Same. I remember the first time I walked out of the door as a mother. Like I remember the sky looks different. Like I'm looking at the sky as a mother. You know, I really was thinking like that as I was coming out, because we see it in such a, like, we understand what love is at that point. But let's speak, because I wanted to like touch into that part like a little later. But since we're on the subject and this is the reasoning and we're reasoning, all right, this is the reasoning. So since this is what reasoning is all about, we're just talking. So because you're talking about this whole motherhood, you know, I called you at a time that, yes, you've been doing all these initiatives. Yes, you've been shaking up movements and revolutionary talk literally all over the world. You have been, sis. I've been watching you. And I usually call you when there's some stuff that needs to be fixed.
At least we're being honest. I was like, Donisha.
We gotta call Donisha. What? So Donisha is the solution. And so you were the solution big time in this instinct. My good friend Saisha Mercado, her last name isn't too much of a tongue twister. Saisha is a good friend of mine that American Idol. She is also Broadway, and just did a lot of great things until she decided to change her life and go into more ITAL, or, plant-based and natural way of living. So in the sense of her moving to that direction, she finds a husband, she has a baby, and one day she has to take her baby to the hospital. And they say, well, you got to give your baby, was it B12? And she says, no, I don't want to give my baby anything. CPS is called. CPS is called, they take her baby away. And I remember when I spoke to her, I was in a meditation, sun was rising. I called Sai, she popped up in my head. I called her and I said, hey, how are you? Like, how's everything? I just saw the sun and I just thought of you. And she said, they took my son away. They took my baby away. And I'm like, who? She said, CPS. And I didn't know these stories. I didn't know that it was so horrifying. And when I told her that she had to use her star power, she was completely afraid. And she said, no, I just want to get my baby back. I said, no, you have to use your voice. And in using your voice, let me connect you to a friend of mine that speaks loud in these kind of conversations. Fighting what's right. We have the right to be right is your organization. And I call you, you just so happen to be in Miami. This is how it works. I'm like, Donisha, listen, sit down. Here's your spliff. Oregon, I got to tell you what's happening to my friend.
That was wild.
And you had just become a mother. Mm-hmm. So I knew before I called you that this was going to be very sensitive to you, because instantly I knew that anybody who's a mother will be heartbroken by this. Anybody can be heartbroken by this, but if you're a mother, you're exceptionally understanding of what's happening. And so you came in, and did you come in as a superhero? Wow. Let's break down everything that happened after you came in.
First of all, there's no way that I could have done this by myself. The team that came together in response to this, we have the right to be right. Everybody who stepped up as the core, and every single night for months. I'm talking about hours. We're on Zoom calls trying to figure out what to do. Researching CPS, researching all of the players in this, in becoming lawyers, figuring out a way to visualize these conversations. Like, we became, just like His Majesty said, we became something for which we've never been. We had to, because for me, I had COVID. I'm pregnant. I just had a baby, and I had decided that I was going to just take some time to just explore what being a mom is.
That's right. It was COVID times.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part.
And I'm just trying to be calm. Like, the world is burning down. George Floyd had just been murdered in front of everybody, and, all of this. And I have a life growing inside of me, and I'm just like, you cannot be out there on the front lines. Like, you have to preserve yourself, But when you call me, and we're having this conversation in the car. I remember in the car outside of a Jamaican restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. Crazy conversation. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean she go to the hospital because she's breastfeeding and trying to wean her baby, and she's looking for support, and instead of supporting her, they criminalize her and force her to inject her baby immediately with no time, and then just take the child? And where is the child? Nobody knows. What? Mm-hmm. It's like it's
in that order.
Even though you think about it and how much came out of it from that simple moment, but just how many mothers have been criminalized, even criminalized themselves, because they've been told that they're bad mothers because their children have been taken away from them wrongly to feed a system. All of it was wild. And Saisha was also pregnant at the time.
With her second baby. Wow. Just because it was definitely a movie, what we were going
The
through
whole
all those months.
fucking thing. I'm sorry. Like, I have to, because all of it was literally a movie.
Literally. And so then it went on for all these months, because you just triggered a memory when you said she was pregnant. Because part 2, do you remember part 2?
Of course.
Aisha calls me, she has her baby, and she's like, she calls me, it's like 7 a.m. She's like, they're trying to take my other baby. I want to leave. I want to go. Basically, she wanted to run. And I call you right away. Remember, I was like, call everybody, get everybody. We have the right to be right. Call everybody, because they're about to take her baby. And then as I'm on the phone with you, I go on Instagram and she's live.
And like, we were prepared.
Yes.
That's why this time. Because when they took Ra, they took him in silence.
Yes.
There were no cameras. There was nobody to tell the story. Like, we had to find ways to retell the story so people could understand. And thankfully, they were prepared. They knew the power of social media.
Look, I have goosebumps.
Man,
how many people were on there?
Hundreds of thousands of people.
No exaggeration, family. Hundreds of thousands.
Because people were now watching for the first time.
Yes.
And I mean, months later, the United Nations, we wrote to the United Nations on some recommendations around CPS and the Black family. And they, not even on our request or suggestion, they made reference to our case. They made reference to the campaign, the Bring Ra Home campaign. And they said it was the first time that America was able to see in real time a child being taken away by CPS and what the implications of that was like. Because the truth is that we see them killing our brothers in the streets. We see police brutality. We hear it. Yeah. We have cameras. Our children don't. The mothers are afraid to turn the cameras on themselves. And that moment created a movement that inspired a nation of mothers to come together and lift their voices. It transitioned from Bring Ra home to bring our babies home.
Yeah.
And
so many mothers came through during the campaign when we drove up to have that campaign. And I remember one man in specific, one white man who had worked for CPS, came on stage and said, yes, it's true. We do this to Black babies. And I just, when they tell the truth like that, I'm dumbfounded. Just the fact that I already know the truth, but the fact that it comes out of their mouth. And he said yes. And I literally was like, wow, all these other mothers that were stepping up and saying, this is what happened. Then it became Black and brown babies, because it became different cultures that were coming up.
Yeah.
And one particular one that stood out was Eddie.
Yeah.
Who is still going through that right now. They still have his children. It's been, I want to say years. Yeah, of course.
Like 3 years now. All of his children. All 3 of them.
So how did you feel as being a mother for the first time, still breastfeeding, brand new baby, and you have to go and speak up for other children, other mothers? Like,
bro, it's every night I'm breastfeeding Kitai, and I'm saying to myself, Saisha does not have her baby.
Yeah.
So Saisha doesn't have an opportunity to have these moments anymore. There's no way I could sleep. Like, literally.
I remember you hold your babies close. Like, I remember looking at Nitsu like, because we're natural mothers. We live like that, I tell babies, we want to give our babies natural things. We live like that. So the fear that came upon grassroots parents was heightened big time.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize it was so simple for your child to be taken away.
Me too.
And we also didn't realize that it was no mandated for doctors to report any instance if they even thought for a moment that there might be abuse or neglect. I also didn't understand the difference between abuse and neglect until we connected with Operation Stop CPS, who are two former CPS workers who stepped out to create their own organization, Operation Stop
CPS workers,
to explain the difference between abuse and neglect. Because, say, abuse, most of the abuse cases they have are with children of like white families. That's the physical beating and the iron and like all that kind of thing. Neglect is that something as simple as you have two different feet of socks on. Your shoe has a hole in it.
Mm-hmm.
Your shirt has a hole in it. Your hair is unkept. That's not neglect, that's poverty.
Exactly what I was thinking while you were saying that.
So what you're telling me is that you guys have it on paper that you are intentionally taking people's children because they are poor, and you have decided that you have better resources. But when you talk to the children on the other side, every single child who comes out of that system is traumatized and broken for the rest of their lives. There is no rehabilitation. There's no family. Like, the more we got into this case and the more we built, especially with Operation Stop CPS, who has continued to work, and like I just have to take my hats off to them, because like honestly, you realize that this is the auction block. You know that image of the mother and the child being taken away from the mother. The father is over there in shackles, he can't do anything. The mother is crying and protesting, and the child is being put up, held 1 foot up to the highest bidder. That's what this is.
That's exactly what that is.
It became so evident. So now, how do we dismantle the system? It's not something that we have actively spent a lot of time really thinking about. It's not like discrimination, and it's not like there's so many blocks to it, because it's cases with children. It's kept in the family courts. Therefore, it's private. It's not made public, right? And unless you can find the hundreds of thousands of dollars that it's going to cost legally to take it to the bigger court, federal, lots of these cases just die in these small towns where the family court system are friends of each other. Like, it really is this incestuous, insidious,
disgusting
thing.
And so these two women, Operation Stop CPS, was very impressive and very vocal in this movement. And like you said, hats off to them, because they continued. I think they were already doing it, but this definitely triggered a movement beyond no other. They have a humongous following now.
Yeah.
They are helping babies of all races, family, because it's not just the little Black babies, but we're the ones. They're just taking these babies and the traumatizing stories that come with it. Before we move on, I just wanted to bring up the one lady that we saw take the police officer yanked the child away from her. And when she finally got her baby back, she later found out that her baby had a disease.
Yeah, and had been abused in care. Like, this case was wild too. She has the baby at the hospital. The baby is fine. Everything is cool. A few hours after the baby is delivered, the nurses come into her room. It's COVID time. And the nurses say that the baby needs to get some injections, some tests. They want to take him back to the nursery with the other babies. She's like, okay, no. Nobody is taking my baby. he's staying right here. Like whatever injections or tests, whatever you guys need to do, you're gonna do it right here, and that's it. And these ladies took offense and called CPS to basically say that she had the capacity to abuse her child based on the fact that she spoke to them in that manner. And when she's getting ready to leave with the baby a few days later, the CPS person comes there to interview her and basically tell her that they're going to take her child. And she says no. And she starts to walk out, only to be met by officers, one of whom grabs her by the neck in a chokehold. The other one rips the baby who is in the car seat from her hand, and they are choking this mother who is 3 days postpartum.
Unbelievable. All on camera.
All on camera, the police cam. We were able to get the footage.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a big issue. It's a big conversation because all of our children are at risk. It doesn't matter. All of our children are at risk. It doesn't matter if you are an American citizen or not. You could be in transit. That shit's real.
Very. So you are a person that goes right into the fire. I noticed this. I always say that specific phrase when it comes to Donisha. She just walks in the fire. Like, oh, she just goes in.
I'm not trying to just go into random fires. Let me just say I am not a firefighter. I do not have an endless supply of water. You know, like.
Yeah, but you're fueled up on that real.
It's just like, yo, you live one time and like passion.
Yes,
passion. Maybe that's what it is. It's just that the fire is the passion, because like injustice is a thing that is just like I don't know. Me, I just have to respond how I can.
Respond quickly. There was one moment that we were in Jamaica and we were going to an initiative that you had put together with We Have the Right to Be Right. And on our way there, I don't know if you remember, I wanted to make sure I bring it up. On our way there, there's police officers that pulled over these young boys, and they had the rifles. And you pulled over, jumped out, jumped in front of the guns. I have it on camera too, because remember I was documenting a lot of your stuff. I'm like, this.
Wait, hold on. For real, Papa, hold on.
You don't remember this? And you jumped in.
Where we're screening the film Black Body?
No, we were on our way. This is when this was another random call that you were like, Fab, we're filming something and I need this equipment and I don't want this equipment to, get damaged on its way over here. I need you to carry it.
Oh, and you came down from from Miami to Jamaica to bring the hard drives and stuff. Okay, I was shooting a documentary. Now I remember. Okay. Okay, so continue. What happened? No?
And so on our way to an initiative, there's two boys. I remember clearly 2 boys were pulled over by cops and they had the guns right in their face. Like, and you jump in front of the guns, no exaggeration. And then what did they do? And I was like, oh my goodness. I was sitting in the car like, oh my goodness. And I just literally took the phone right away and I started documenting it. Unfortunately, I don't have that footage anymore.
That's hilarious.
Instagram, that, all of that. But I remember documenting it and just really thinking, whoa, this girl just jumps in. And that one in specific.
That was a crazy thing to do.
I won't ever forget that one, because I know there's a lot of things that I've seen you do. That right there, I tell people that story all the time. I bring up that story very often.
That's wild, because I don't really remember exactly that moment.
It was so instinctual,
but it sounds exactly like something that I would do.
Jumped right in front. I'm like, and they're telling you, move. I don't think they were really going to shoot, because they were literally like, move out the way. Like everybody was looking at you like, whoa.
Yeah, that was a very crazy thing to do. I don't suggest anybody do that.
Let's do it.
Don't jump in front of guns, in front of police, especially in this country. I was in Jamaica.
We're in Jamaica.
These people probably know who I am.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit, okay? But I don't remember, honestly. But it does sound like something that I would do, and I have done before.
Yes.
And again, that's even why, like, when the police stopped us in Rialto a few years ago, this whole situation.
Yeah.
We were checking out of our rental property, and some white lady across the street saw us. Called the cops and said that she saw 3 black people stealing stuff. And the cops respond with like 8 cars and a helicopter, just like stealth. They came in to eat some food. That's what we say in Jamaica. Come in stealth. But again, because of how we grew up in Jamaica, like I've never been afraid of police. I've never been afraid of authority. Like I also have never really seen authority like intimidate my family. I didn't grow up with that kind of fear. I didn't realize how much fear African Americans live with, Black Americans, Black people in America live with until those moments and after those moments. Because I wasn't afraid of them. I think that's one of the reasons why where I'm still living.
Right. That's, since you brought that up, there's so many initiatives that you have done, and I've watched you, even just in a span of 10 years that I know you were doing it before. And so this one in specific, I remember the moment I turned on the TV and CNN was on and you were up there and the rest of the crew, Comey, everybody was up there with the revolution shirts. And for real, I really got emotional because it wasn't like, oh, that's my friend there. I was like, this girl is really, really up here speaking the truth and speaking up for so many people that don't have that platform. And I literally was looking at the TV, not just, that's my girl, that's my friend up on TV, but like, yo, she's really doing it. She's really letting the people know. She's really speaking. And the fact that you had said His Imperial Majesty's words was even more just goosebumps all over my body, because the world got to hear these phrases. The world got to hear what revolution looks like. And a woman coming to speak with everyone behind you with the revolution shirt was just powerful. Was wearing, I think we just added the green one, but back then it was the red shirts
And the
black shirts. So these powerful colors still coming together. You're rocking these shirts in front of, there was so many mics in front of you. I don't know if you remember which one, because there was a lot of them.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember those moments.
And I was so touched, so inspired, and just knowing that you have no fear. This is the run into fire kind of phrase that
Who told you I have no fear? This girl. Who told you I have no fear?
Straight up.
It's just like, again, I think I conquered fear flying to Africa because it was a rocky flight. Lots of turbulence. And just lots of turbulence. Everybody was praying and whatever it is. And I just found a piece of, just calm. And I was just like, say, I have too much work for me to do for this to be it. So from that, I've reoriented my relationship with fear, the unknown. Because I'm up in the air. I don't know who is flying. I don't know what can happen. I don't know what's going on. But I just know that there's more for me to do and contribute. And I could live one time, not saying I'm racing to the last days of my life. No, I'm just like, yo. I remember driving behind a bus one time, going to high school with my father. And on the back of the bus in Jamaica, there are always like messages. It said, how will history remember you? I think I was maybe like 15 or something. And I was just like, wow. Because I've always loved words and the moments that they can create and the memories and that kind of thing, which is why I love film. I love the art of storytelling. And so I realized that I have the opportunity to write my autobiography. Every day, I have the opportunity presently to write a best-selling book. Okay, cool. So I'm going to write it.
Yeah, it is. Every day is going to say, are you going to do it?
I'm doing it. And I'm not just WRIT. I'm not just WRIT.
Yeah.
E-ing it. I'm R-I-G-H-T writing it. It's important for us to reorient how we see and engage with these words, because these words don't naturally come to us, right? It's English. Which doesn't really fit into our mouths, you know?
You're right.
There's so much more we want to say. That's why they say our people are dramatic. Yeah, we are, because we don't have enough words. There's not enough expression in these words to like carry the vibes of what we really are trying to say. You see me? You know? So what Rastafari has taught me, what I have taken from Rastafari to help me craft my own journey and my own sense of self, is these elements that I can redefine a space in the world for myself, despite whatever circumstances have been given to me. I'm born in a big family. I find myself in a very unique position. There are lots of questions and responsibilities that come with that position. So I've spent a lot of time psychoanalyzing, like, what Jah really do and why, you know? So for me, I just really have to humble myself to the fact that I am capable to do all of these things, and I just have to give respect that the universe finds me capable and respond accordingly. It's just like people say, if you have gifts and you don't use them, you lose them.
Real talk.
You know, we have a lot of gifts and we have to use them.
You definitely respond accordingly. Sometimes you respond very fast. Call to action is, when I hear that phrase, I think of you as well. Call to action in so many ways. We went to the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Fab, we've done a lot together, you know.
And that was a call to action, because it was another phone call that was like, we got to get to the Bahamas. I'm like, Donisha, the hurricane just happened yesterday. I'm exaggerating, maybe 2 days before. And you said that, no, we have to go there. I said, okay, what program, what company are we going to be supporting and going? You said, no, it's us. We're going to help, especially the Haitian community that's there at that time. I had no idea the amount of Haitian community that was in the Bahamas until we got there. And that was a big call to action thing, because we got there and you used your resources to be able to help other people. I know the place that we were staying at was your family's hotel. And in that hotel, there were some people that were assigned, how does it go? Like when I think it's like they assigned people to different hotels, and
all of that was
happening.
Crazy.
We found a lot of Haitian elderly that needed a lot of help that was in the hotel that we were staying at.
First of all, the politics of how that even happened, because like I've been going to the Bahamas since I was a child. My family has had property there for a long time. Like when my grandparents got shot in the 70s, the Bahamas was one of the spaces that they went to get away. You know, so it's kind of like a second home. I had no idea the socio-political context of the conversation between Haitians and Bahamians. I didn't realize it was so intense. Like, after the hurricane happened, they were identifying who was going to be able to get aid based on their last name. And Haitian last names sound very different from Bahamian last names. And because the Bahamas is so small, they clearly know who is who. And all of the resources are being divided based on your nationality. They gave the Bahamian people first, and then the line for the Haitian people start. So, you know, the Bahamas was getting a lot of money at that time, a lot of donations. But because of the discrimination on the ground between the administration, right? The aid isn't getting to the people, it's rotting away at the borders. So like when we came in, luckily we were able to connect with the Haitian ambassador, the Haitian consulate, who was in transition at that time. Like, he's brand new. Like, this is day one. This is his first day at work.
Yeah.
And it is the day after the hurricane.
We went straight to his office. Well, first let's rewind a little bit, because my assignment was to find the Haitian consulate. And I'm telling you, sure, no problem, Donisha, I'm on it. I said, and then I hang up the phone like, how am I going to find the Haitian consulate? How? Right after that sentence left in my mind, I knew to call one of my friends who is the Haitian consulate, or was the Haitian consulate here in Florida. And within 5 minutes, he sent me that phone number, and we got to go straight to him. We connected with him. We went to his home. He took us around. He understood what we as young people coming in to just help. He understood. He took us around. I was able to speak my language, because that was one of the things that
you became kind of an interpreter for us.
Yes, I was.
They had to use your native tongue.
Imagine. And statistically finding out that 70% of the land are inhabited.
It's inhabited.
It's inhabited.
This English.
70% are Haitian people.
Yeah. 70%.
70%.
That means that 30% of the people in the Bahamas are indigenous to the Bahamas.
So I was culture shocked, because I had never heard Haitian people with a Bahamian accent. Like, they would just speak Creole, and then all of a sudden, if they were speaking English, it was this Bahamian accent. I was like, culture shock. But for me to be able to speak Creole, because I love being Haitian.
Yeah, it's okay, girl.
Even though America is where I was born, I love me everything about Haiti and everything about who I am and my culture. So when you called me and you said, I need a Creole speaking person, I know my Creole isn't the greatest, but anytime I'm able to speak my language, I do. And so it's unapologetic, because sometimes, I know it's with an American accent. But
no, but you figured it out. You figured it out.
I did.
Yeah, and it's a space in between too. It's not always the word.
So we did it. And there was a big shift when I came back. I think I remember feeling guilty about a lot of things. Remember, I had to get my nails done, and I was like, bro, I feel so guilty going into the shop. All these people, this is what they're going through. And so we got to really, really see firsthand, by going by ourselves, without going with organizations, and really figuring it out all by ourselves, what it looks like and what our people are really going through all over the world. Because remember, the Bahamians were discriminating the Haitians. Remember, we had a lot of those conversations where the Bahamians were like, why don't they just go back home? And I couldn't believe it, that was the talk, because ultimately we're the same people.
And the talk on national news. This isn't the talk between people on the ground. This is the talk on national news. It was really upsetting, and it was really like, it drew a stark line, because we also had a team member who was Bahamian.
Yeah.
Right? And so it created very tense conversations, and these are very important conversations for us to have as people who come from one place but have been spread across. Like, there's 400 years of separation, miscommunication, misunderstanding, unhealed trauma all around. We've inherited these systems. We've inherited them. We weren't the ones who created it. It was never created for us. So there's a lot of undoing to do, as we know. But that's why we have to go and create new models of coexistence. Like, who created these nations? Some guy. So what me can do? You know what I mean? Like, with Jamaica was independent in 1962. What year is this now? 2024? That's like 62 years or something like that. It's 62 years of knowing what being an independent nation looks like on your terms. That's not long enough.
That's not long enough.
You're still under your parents' rule.
Say it. And I usually do that comparison with Jamaica's independence and Haiti's independence, because remember, Haiti's independence is 1804.
I know.
So imagine over 150 years later, now Jamaica gets independence. And so what that looks like in modern day time between what that looks like back in the day is a big significant difference, because back then everybody was Haitian. You touch the land, you're Haitian, and Haitian meant free. It meant being free.
Haitian meant being free. Yeah, I feel like I just know that there's more that we can do.
Yes.
And if we continue to just play small, we won't realize our capacity. Like I say, some guy and then friend them decide, say, oh, well, you know what? This is our land now. And this is how we want shit to go. So are you with us? Or because it's not gonna be good if you aren't. Like, it's some guy and then friend them.
Yeah.
Yo, there's so much we can do. There's so much we can do as artists. For me, when people ask me, so, what do you do? Today or generally? Because we're responding.
Mm-hmm.
We're creating in accordance to the environment. I feel like artists have been stripped of the opportunity to really create and support creation by being organic, because we are expected to produce products to entertain. But there's a difference between being an entertainer and being an artist. Like it's you can't hire me, No, straight. You cannot hire me. If we're not working together, then it can't work.
Yes.
I don't have people who work for me. They're working with me.
Yes.
You have to value people's time. It's their life. What do you mean? We have to reorient how they've taught us, like 9 to 5. Yo, because I am an artist, I can raise my son. And I'm just like, now that he's in daycare, I'm just like, so people drop off their children at 7 o'clock in the morning to make it to work for 8, to leave at 5, to come pick up their children before 6, to go home to cook for them and them children, put them to bed. So when is there time for you to know your child?
Exactly.
When is there time for you to know you?
Exactly.
Hold on. We had this shit I forgot change.
Yes. And that means then that the system raises your children. And so when they come home and it's like, well, why do you act like this? Well, they're with them for so many hours in the day. By the time you come back home, time to start all over again, go to bed, suffer a little bit of talk, how was school, go right back to it. And so they raise the children.
It's rough.
It is rough. It is rough.
It rough. We have to, there's a lot of things we have to do. Land.
Yeah.
Find land.
Mm-hmm.
Know how to plant.
Teach the youth.
Yes. Teach yourself to, like, we eat 3 times a day. How many seeds do we plant in our lifetime? Because it's not 3 times a day. Like, when do we give back? How do we give back? Do we give back? Are we entitled? Like, you really have to ask yourself these kinds of questions to be able to see how it is that you can better interface with the world. And anyway, I wanted to be a psychologist when I was growing up. So, like, I feel like I'm always asking questions.
Well, you're still growing and evolving, girl, because let me tell you, let's talk about your creative side, because you got a whole lot of stuff going on. And I love your title, Culture Creator. I love that.
Oh, the cultural curator
as well.
Mm.
Filmmaker, actress, a whole actress for real. A singer. I don't know if you have that in your title, but I've heard you.
No, Bob,
I have heard you, but you did a song one time that I was like, what a beautiful song in your movie. And you were like, that's me.
Why are you blowing up my spot right now? Like, I'm an artist. Let it just, the art just be.
So many different facets of you. Basically, again, unapologetic. I know we have fear, but the fearless, courageous lioness vibration that you carry makes you jump into that stuff. Jump in the studio. Let me just do my song for the movie. Jump into filmmaking, Black bodies, amazing. That's something that I was very, very inspired by when you did that film. Journeys of Rasta.
Oh, Rasta Soul's Journey.
Yes. So that one right there, when you went and journeyed all around. Say the title because it was so long. Yeah, this is way over 10 years.
It is Rasta Soul's Journey. We went to 8 countries around the world to learn about the roots and the evolution of Rastafari. As a young person in my early 20s, like coming out of the Marley bubble and going out into the world to really discover Rastafari on its own terms, and not just third person, not just from a book, not from other people's perspectives, but from my own. And that really, I think, redirected the trajectory of my life, because prior to that, I was acting. I went to Howard University. I studied as an acting major in theater. Like, I was going into the world of, what was it called? Hollywood. I thought that's where I was going. But telling stories and preserving the art of storytelling and understanding how to define your voice in storytelling is really where I think I wanted to go and be. And so I think that's what I'm trying to continue to do in different kinds of ways.
You have something coming up, correct?
Which one? I know.
You're leaving in a couple days.
Oh, yes. Okay. Right now, so this is my first art exhibit that I've ever curated. It's a visual art and photography exhibit. Living in New York right now. It's called The Garden That Rita Grew, my grandma Rita. And it's a retrospective of my grandma's life from my perspective as her eldest grandchild, trying to understand my grandma beyond the lens of Bob Marley's wife, beyond the lens of, celebrity, and really understand, like, who was your mom? Who was your grandma? Who was your great grandma? Like, what are our roots? And curating this exhibit really sent me on a journey to realize that we don't really understand the value of archiving in the Black family.
Right.
Especially because we move around so much, we have to limit the things that we travel with. So photos are often lost or scattered. Things are left behind. We don't understand the value of it until, like, we're in a place and we don't have it. So if it wasn't for my granduncle, who is my grandmother's brother, he always had a camera in your face at every family event, And I'm grateful for him because he's kept every single thing. Pamphlets, cards, like, I'm going through stuff from, like, the 70s. I'm going through, it was really amazing.
Wow.
So, yeah, now I understand a little bit more about the importance of advocating for archiving in the Black family. Like, we have to become our own archaeologists. We have to go figure some other shit out too.
Well, but you're doing a lot about speaking about your grandma, because there was another thing that you did that my daughter was like, Mommy, I saw Donisha on YouTube Kids. And I was like, really? And so Mama called you and you were like, it's working. Like, yeah. So she saw you and she goes, she's talking about her grandmother, Rita. And I was like, it's Rita. And she's like, Rita. And I said this to you and you were like, no, it's Rita. It is. So we've been saying Rita Marley, but it's Rita.
Yeah, it's just how Americans pronounce the T, and we are straight with the T. It's hard T. And you guys are like D.
Yeah, Rita. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, and I can't read that.
Yeah.
Rita. It's like Rita. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
So she saw you. She was so excited to see you. And what was that about? Because it was for children.
It was for children. It was towards. It's called Rebel Girls, and the demographic really is young women below like 14.
Okay.
So like from 6 to 14.
Okay, perfect.
But again, trying to understand how to like carry the stories from generation to generation.
Yes.
So having a little Black girl somewhere in the world being like, oh my gosh, Rita Marley,
Yes.
that's something important. You know, because there are lots of boys who know Bob Marley, but there are not a lot of girls who know Rita Marley. And like I said in that interview, there would be no Bob Marley as we know him today without Rita Marley.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care what anybody wants to say. Post the comments below.
Subscribe.
Okay? I said, give women their props.
Yes.
Period. Like, we don't need to go into it. Go watch the book. Go read the book No Woman No Cry, and you'll get to understand a little bit more.
Yeah, well, you're very vocal about women and cannabis. You're doing something. Yeah. So there's so many, but I remember I'm calling them out.
Okay, you are calling them out, sis. Thank you. But sometimes you need a mirror, you know, like, you know.
You're definitely reflecting
100%.
out there. I always say she's like an evolved version. And the reason why I say that, not to like bring me down, but
yeah, what do you
I know you, there's a reason. It's not like in a bad way, but just understanding, like, you know, you've definitely traveled a lot. Like, you've been doing it a long time. I think I'm within that 10-year mark of speaking up, because before that I was like, what you talking about? I want to be in the club. I'm, you know, but while I was there, you were already here. And so that's why I say that, not to like put me down, because I know what I'm doing.
I hear you. Okay. Okay. Good props where they're due.
I see it, and then I know that I have my giggly self.
Yeah, you know what? They used to call me Smiley in high school, you know, because I used to just be like weird and smiley, and like, I'm actually a nerd, you know, like, you guys, a lot of people think I'm really cool, which I am, but like, you know, there's an intellectual, there's another thing that's happening there too.
Yeah.
So like,
reflections all the way.
100%. You bring that space. You bring me back to that space where, you know, I don't need to. Even though you think that I run into fires and shit, you know, you also create a safe space where I don't feel like I need to run into fires, but you remind me that I can.
Oh yes.
And I need to remember sometimes.
That's true.
That I can.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, you give me a more fearless energy.
I think we should hug now, because I want to hug now. So I love you.
Yeah, I love you so much. Like,
this is so important.
You're a big deal for my growth. You're a big deal in friendship. You are my sister.
Yes.
So, and I let people know that. Sax, he was so excited. Perfect. He was so excited. Okay, because Sax one time said to me, do you know Donisha? I'm like, is this a trick question? Of course, that's my sister. And so I don't know if you remember him, but he is who I sent to your mom's.
Fab.
Of course, I love you because you're a real person.
What do you mean? He played the sax in my mom's video. Are you crazy? And that was so important.
That I sent him. He was like, do you know that I played the saxophone in her mom's video? And I'm like, I sent you that saxophone. That you didn't remember.
Yes. Just making the connections. It's just a vibration. Because that simple thing, what you represented there, and I know it took a lot for you to be there that day too, you know? I remember you had to go take your kid to some party or something, like you had to be that on that day too. Yeah. And I was being mom on that day too. Like, my son was right there behind the camera. I think he's gonna get into film too. Cause, anyways, my great grandfather, who is my grandmother's father, was a saxophonist, and so it was very important. A saxophonist.
Saxophonist.
Mm-hmm. A saxophonist. He played the sax.
It's okay.
Yeah, a saxophonist.
That's a word.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so just being able to have that little piece, as simple as it may have, you know, it seemed like all of my art, all of my music videos that I direct, like all of my films, all of that has my family and my journey to understand my family in there everywhere. And it's not the celebrity of my family. I'm just trying to understand my family and myself as a human. And because my family is so famous or whatever it is, people find that interesting. but I hope they find their own journeys as interesting to go and explore their own family history. Because it's not about the celebrity, like us as humans. What is our capacity? Who are we? Who have we been? What can we be?
Mm-hmm. So I always imagined a documentary of your family. I always felt like that would be really interesting.
There are a million documentaries though, you know.
It's documenting like the younger ones, documenting like the now, you know, how everybody's moving now and what this generation is, really this generation.
Yeah.
You know, because all of you are doing so many things, you know, DJ or, you know, singing still, acting. And, you know, I feel like everybody has a favorite Marley, you know, mine is Steven. I'm just going to say it because I love them all. But I know I tell you I love Steven because I love his
It's very
music.
political because
Yeah,
I'm
his
not
music.
supposed to say that I have a favorite either. I'm not
I
supposed
know,
to
it's
say.
like we're not supposed to say it. We always joke. That's always the thing. Like, who's your favorite Marley? Well, we're not supposed to say it because
Not supposed to say that.
But Steven, I'm connected to his music. His music, the first time I heard it,
Uncle Steve is the maestro though. Uncle Steve is the master. Like he really is, as the youngest of his older 4 siblings. I really watch him and watch what he's doing too and respect him from that space because he's only like 12 years older than me. Right.
Oh.
So, you know, in a way, as much as they're my uncles, they're also like kind of my brothers. Just like bigger brothers too. It's a very interesting, like I said, interesting space I find myself at, being the eldest of my generation, you know. So
the eldest, the very firstborn grandchild. Amazing.
Yeah,
that's a big deal because and I feel like you wear that crown so well because you are definitely leading a movement, and you know you're right there with Rita and Bob with holding that space for revolutionary change and word sound. You're doing it through film. You're doing it through acting. You're doing it through art because you and your husband has the art studio in Canada.
Yeah.
And so you fell in love with an artist. It's not surprising.
No. I always knew I was going to marry an African man.
Wow.
I always knew. I don't know. I always knew that my children were going to be African. Like it's just a part of the story in my head somewhere. And Kwame, my husband, is an amazing visual artist who really looks at the world through an Afrofuturist lens, which means like what would we have been like if we weren't colonized? Like who would we have become? What would our world have looked like if we hadn't been displaced and we had been able to continue on the trajectory that we were building on? There are a lot of conversations that he has elicited in my own mind just by looking at his work, and he creates a safe space for me to be able to just be all that I am right now, because I'm a lot to deal with. Shout out to Comey. Shout out and for dealing with my madness. Shout out to you, love. Like I know it's a lot.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love you.
For the world, you know,
because his art is like that's how I feel. Yeah. Like that's the emotion I get when I look at his art. I'm literally like, and like you're literally staring, and it's what you said. So many questions and just staring at his art. His art is truly that. What is it? 1,000 words. You know, you look at a piece and it's like 1,000 words that you can come up with or see within this art piece. And his art is so intricate and it's so detailed. It's like, how do you do this? The art that he did with You in the Wings, beautiful.
It's a part of our love story. He was commissioned to do a painting of Yamaya, who is a water goddess in the Yoruba culture. And one of the specifications was that they wanted the model to have a Caribbean African look with dreads. And he had heard about me and reached out to me on Instagram. And I was supposed to travel. It's a whole love story that you guys are going to have to read in my book coming soon. I'm just joking. The book is not coming soon.
I'm ready.
But
like, yeah.
it's really a beautiful love story, and Black love needs to exist.
Yes.
And needs to thrive.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Cheers to that. On that note, this is sorrow and the way, not
So delicious. Like I'm having all of it.
organics. And so I have some gifts for you.
Okay. Yummy, tummy. Presents for me.
I'm gonna start off with something that is like an inside joke, but I was gonna start off with
Okay.
it's avocado season, family.
Okay.
And so I was walking out the house and I was like, oh shoot, let me just bring one to Donisha. And it made me giggle because I remember when it was mango season and I brought mangoes to you and you specifically brought one to your grandma. And I remember the story you told me about how she felt having that mango. And so I hope you share that with her.
Oh, thank you, sis. I will. She loves avocado, so
Straight from the tree. Straight from the tree. The avocado season now.
I said,
Oh. And then it's a lot because I reached out to my family in the holistic directory that I'm having in 2025. Did you know? Holistic directory 2025. Sent out all the messages to everybody that I have so far thus far. And I said, this is who I'm interviewing. And then they just send it. They just send the gifts and they're like, hey, I would love to gift her.
Wow.
And so piece of paradise. This is a complimentary massage for you. She's going to come to you. So I know you go out of town, but when you come back, get this massage, girl. You need it.
Yes.
And she's amazing. Iris, her touch, I just had one last week. Her touch is phenomenal. She comes to you, so you don't have to worry about
Iris.
Vince.
Iris. IRIS at peaceofparadisewellness.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out. I'm looking forward to this 60-minute massage. Like,
it might be more because she just like goes with the flow.
Okay.
So I
love this. Thank you, sis. This is great.
I love how people really love this massage because we need it and we're moving around so much. Like, that's why I felt like this is such an important gift. It's an important gift.
It is.
You know?
It is. Thank you.
So, Ima is the elder that was at Voices of Sanctified that had a whole story about you. And
she used to run with my grandma.
Yeah. So I don't open anything. They just give it to me. So we're surprised at the same time when you open it. So she actually gave me.
But what if I don't open it?
Yeah, you don't have to, but I guess it's kind of like a thing. Phil started that. For the very first episode, he was like, can I open it now? I'm like, no. So yes, okay, beautiful. Wow, Senko.
Yes, I know, Senko, and
Yes. And so when she gave this to me, she prayed over it. She was very spiritual. So I can imagine all the energy that is in that. That's your style.
So beautiful.
See, more to come. So I'm just picking them up as they go. So this right here, and this is actually potpourri or incense flower. Like, it's actually like you can place it somewhere, maybe in your car or wherever you're at, and like you can really smell the incense. And so this is a book. I don't know. It's up to you if you want to open it all the way. But it's a book of prayers from a good friend of mine, Khadijah, and it is magical. It's one of those books that you just open and whatever pops up is something that is for you for the day. That's how I feel when I open her book. She wrapped it so pretty.
I know. I'm trying to be like, do I want to?
She was like, the flower, it's incense. I'm like, wow.
That's so thoughtful too.
Beautiful. Wow, she really wrapped it.
Yeah, she wrapped it. Okay, in love and light.
Look at that.
And blessings.
Yes.
So am I supposed to just randomly open a chapter now so we can read and see what the reading of the day is?
Sure. Okay. That's something very magical.
Okay.
Here you go.
A Prayer's Journey, Your Guide to Self-Discovery. Received by Khadijah Barnett.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Oh, well, I think she already found us something. My inner compass. I'll just read the first chapter. Here I am welcoming my thoughts and feelings to guide my inner compass. With my thoughts and feelings, I tell my inner compass where I want to go, what I'm trying to achieve, the truth of my story, taking me on paths and adventures that light my way to myself, the self that is aware, the self that is conscious, the self that is an active participant in my life. My inner compass does not fail me.
See that? It's so beautiful, Fab. So I asked her, how did she come up with these? And she just came up with them and jotted them down. And she said Spirit just guided her to write all these books. And she's so angelic. When you see her, she is so sweet. So Love and Peace. They were the ones who performed at the Love, and she went through hail, snow, what is it, sleet? Oh, yes, to get to me to give you this gift. She lives so far away from Miami, and she made it close to midnight. Wow, one of the first times that we were, because I know we spent a couple of days trying to get you here, but one of the first nights she came, and it was almost midnight, and she made it. And what a gift she is. And so she gave that to you. Love and Peace.
Gosh, it's just overwhelming. I'm not trying to take up all of the time, like opening gifts.
It's so funny. I love it. You are definitely deserving of,
oh gosh,
of all these gifts.
Yeah, enjoy a night or day, soak with love's womb, bath, soak, and womb warming oil. May your womb be filled with warmth and love. Through self-love, you will prevail.
Yes.
Some womb healing.
That's only into the womb care. She does those Balaam circles and everything that's for the womb. And this right here, Lung Remedy from ISPA, this is teas. And yeah, this is good for us.
Of course, as smokers, as people who smoke the ganja, smoke the cannabis, smoke the weed, like whatever you call it. This stuff is good.
Mulleins in it.
Go to cola, black seed, soursop.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Aya Apothecary.
That remedy. That's the remedy. Okay. So now this right here is from Treelands. I have a piece too. This is 100% cotton from Treelands. It's a one piece. Feels great.
Yes.
Amazing.
Lovely. Yes. Thank you guys. What is going on? All of this higher frequency vibrations.
Gifting. The gifts are important. We gotta, what do they say? Give the flowers, but gift. You are a gift. So I want you to feel these gifts because everybody really thought of you. They saw you and they said, this is what I want to give her. And so I just tell them, vibe her out, take a look at her and see what you want to give. And then they put it together.
Thank you.
So yes. So Baladev. Okay. This is another outfit. I don't know because I don't open it. I just let you open it. That's another outfit right there.
Baladev.
Yeah. Their stuff. Definitely our style. Definitely our style. They are so good. I met them at the farmer's market and they instantly became one of my holistic companies. And look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It's the colors.
That goes so fitting. Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Baladev. Okay.
I love you.
I love it.
So now this is like an inside joke too because, all right.
Oh.
I gave you a mat a long time ago and you can fold this one. Okay. I gave you a mat a long time ago from Mama Makeda, the one who met up with you in
Haiti. Yeah.
And I lost it. Oh, you know where I lost it actually? At Solar Sundays. Actually, that's where I lost it.
That's hilarious. I'm here.
I got it to decorate my stuff. And then I lost it. And you never knew. I never told you.
What?
You lost my mat in the midst of that. I was like, Makeda, I really want to do an eco-friendly yoga mat line. And she sent me all the info. And I got it done.
What is?
To invest in myself.
Yes, high five and investing in yourself.
Yes. So eco-friendly, it feels great. This is a brand new mat that is similar with material because it's all eco-friendly. And it has Go Green Fashionista red in the middle. So you're always going to think of me.
Yeah. All green fucking me. Go get your fashion on and your stretch on too.
Yes. I love you.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect Dream. They are my biggest sponsor of Higher Frequency, The Reasoning. They support me. They sponsor me monetarily. Thank you. They sponsor me with gifts for the people that I bring in, because everybody is just so important to me thus far that I brought in, because I want it to be very intentional. And so Perfect Dream.
Yeah.
You're going to love this box. Very intentional when I told him to put it together.
Perfect Dream.
Yes. And definitely something that you will enjoy.
Cool.
And probably sip on your tea from ISFA while you're enjoying all the gifts from Perfect Tree.
Okay, Perfect Tree. Self-care.
Yes.
Over health care.
Say it again.
I love it. Self-care over health care.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. A lot of healthy things up in there.
I smell it. It's a Perfect Tree.
Perfect Tree. And so there you go. There you go.
Wow.
You are deserving, sis. I love you. You get to thank, of course, Divine Nectar Home. She is always fueling us up with all the natural juices. And so thank you, Divine Nectar. Thank you for the sorrel. It's organics. Thank you, my love. I love you. Keep going, keep thriving, keep fulfilling everything that you want to fulfill. Keep evolving. It's the revolution. It's time. We see it. And I thank you. I thank you for just showing us.
Yes, sis. Thank you. Oh, I have to pour back up.
Since you drink. Let's do it.
No, I'm a do this and you're gonna do that. And then I'm just gonna mix and match and still be cute. We're trying to make conscious cool.
Has to be. It is cool.
It is cool. Mm-hmm. It's been cool.
It's been cool.
Are you with it?
Yes.
You should be.
Yes. I love you.
Love you too, sis.